messing around.
Loft meeting. Pew, pew, pew. Loft meeting. You know, I realized I used to do my air horn super loud, like loft meeting. Pew, pew, pew. And then my mom, who listens to my podcast every single week, and my mom is British. She was like, darling, you sound like you're on steroids when you're doing these things in the morning. And I'm like, oh, yeah. I just get so excited. The loft meetings are one of my favorite things to do. I love hearing from all of you that listen to the podcast and hearing your questions. It really makes me think about our show differently and, rewatch things differently. So I get very excited and hype about it. But maybe I should pull it back, tone it down. Am I being really loud in your ears? I'm so sorry. It's just my enthusiasm. Hi, Mom. All right. So we are calling a loft meeting. I don't know if you guys can see this for those of you that are maybe watching this clip on IG or you're watching this on YouTube. But I'm very excited. So for a while, I've been talking about how I wanted to do a Valentine's gift to our new girl fans. One, because I feel like we always did the best Valentine's episodes. And two, because y'all deserve it, because we love you. So Lamorne and I designed Ferguson shirts. What's a greater love letter? Because Winston, as we all know, loved Ferguson. And Hannah, me, I am a very proud and out cat lady. Okay, so here I am. Ooh, can you guys see it? Here, I'm going to see if I can lean away from the mic for a second. It says the mess around. And at the bottom, it says, go Fergs, Team Bishop. I always loved those athletic shirts growing up for different teams. I loved them. I would go to vintage stores and buy them. So that was kind of the inspiration in making our Team Ferguson shirt. Please go to our website, themessaroundpod.com, and get yours. It's a limited Valentine's drop. Love letter to you guys. And if it does really well and people like it, then maybe we'll keep it on the site. If not, this is a one and only. But I love it. You're going to see me in town, running around here in LA. I'm going to be rocking this shirt for sure. All right, we're having a loft meeting. Here we go. Let's start. We hear from Trish first. Hi, Hannah and Lamorne. I'm a huge fan of both of you and love listening to your show. Thank you. You're both so genuine and down to earth and seem beautiful inside as well as outside. I'm telling you, the level of compliments you guys give, I am here for it. Thank you very much. New Girl is one of my comfort shows I have in rotation as it brings me joy. I've watched it so much that having it on in the background while I work from home, I still giggle just hearing the comedy and brilliance of the show. Anyway, I wanted to comment and agree with Hannah's opinion about it being inappropriate to continue to have an ex in your life if you're in a new relationship. It started for a reason, and it ended for a reason. Being an acquaintance would be more appropriate. With that being said, I also believe, and had a heartbreaking experience with it, that if you're in a relationship, you should not have a best friend of the same sexual orientation that you talk to, hang out with more than your partner. Red flags being hiding texts from them, staying out all hours of the night with them, with your phone off, and the classic, I've known them longer than you. Ooh. I truly believe if you're in a relationship, everything should be open communication and honesty. Anything you can't tell your partner you're doing is inappropriate. And to both of your points, if your partner is uncomfortable with how you're behaving, then there's something there to discuss. This is all true. Oh, I always joke about how I could have had a Netflix series about my relationship story, as it was insane. Anyway, I love your show. Love you both. I hope to hear back from you. Trish? I agree with you. On all your points. I will say I learned the most about relationships and how to be respectful in relationships from a friend of mine in college. She was in an open relationship. She was into all sorts of things that I won't disclose. They were private. So what she basically told me was so interesting because I said, at the time, at that age or whatever, I was like, he sent a text to his ex. And he was like, it's not cheating. I just sent a text. But we had promised that we weren't going to communicate with our exes. And he sent a text and he's like, a text isn't cheating. I didn't have sex with her. And I remember my friend who was in this like super open, adventurous relationship was like, no, that's cheating. If he made a promise to you about doing something in the relationship and you both agreed to it, no, I'm sorry, but a text can be cheating. And I remember it really opened my eyes to like when you are going to be in a relationship and you're going to be intimate and vulnerable, you kind of make a contract with each other of the things that would hurt you. You share those things and you make a promise to not do those things. And so if someone does them, whatever it is, whatever is in your little contract in your relationship, that's cheating. It's a betrayal of trust. So it's so funny to think that my friend that was in the most open of all relationships is the one who told me that like a text qualifies and can be as hurtful as someone sleeping with somebody else because it's a betrayal. Interesting. But everybody, by the way, is different. Some people might be like, you can sleep with as many people as you want. That's cool with me. Doesn't hurt my feelings, right? Everybody's different. Everybody can make their own rules in life. Bam. All right, here we go. Brenda. Hello, Mess Around crew. Hannah, Lamorne, and Joelle. Ooh, hey, Joelle. First off, thank you for an amazing podcast about an amazing show. You're welcome. With all of the mess going on in our country, your show makes me smile and laugh every week. I wanted to write in because while I do agree with Hannah on her take on exes, ooh, this is a very spicy Loft meeting we're having, I have an interesting caveat to the rule. I'm super close with my ex, but only because there's no chance of anything happening between us. I'm a trans woman and we dated prior to my transition. When I was with her, I was going through a lot and was dealing with so much confusion. Now there's no chance of either of us having romantic feelings for each other as we are both into men and she is married. We've had a chance to transition from being romantically involved to just being the best of girlfriends. In most cases, I wouldn't be friends with an ex, but I do believe in exceptions to that rule. Thanks again for all you do and for brightening my my day. Thanks, Brenda. This is what I'm saying, Brenda, right? Every single relationship is different. Totally different. I dated someone once where I was like, I'm not comfortable if you're friends with your ex. That's just like my thing. And they were like, oh, got it. No problem. And they're like, by the way, that doesn't bother me. I don't care if you're friends with all your exes. And I was like, oh, okay. And they genuinely meant it. So, and that wasn't a double standard. They had other things that they weren't comfortable with, right? And so I had to respect those things. It doesn't mean it has to be the same also. That was a nice lesson for me to learn too, right? Is that everybody could kind of say like, these are the things that are important to me. And you might have different things that are important to you. I love that. And I love that you have that support and friendship now with someone who knows you and loves you. All right, Jen. Hi, Hannah and Lamorne. I've always wondered, as a show, how are plot holes handled? Do they ever get pointed out by cast and or crew during table reads? In the episode, Nick tells Caroline that he broke up with her because of Jess. But in the first season, it's mentioned that Nick and Caroline had been broken up with for about 6 months before Jess moves in. Are plot holes sometimes intentional, needed when character development goes in a different direction over time? I'm so curious about this. It seems like such a big piece of Nick's backstory to change on the fly. Thanks for reading. You know what's funny is I don't feel like it ever happened, like that we talked about a plot hole during our show. Like that, like one didn't come up that was glaringly obvious, and we're like, "Hold on, this doesn't make sense." So I don't think we ever caught one when we were doing the show, at least that I know of. Or maybe they did and they fixed them, right? But a couple have slipped through the cracks. That one I always find interesting because I feel personally it's more like, you know how they're kind of like on again, off again, and you're still texting each other, communicating. I feel like, remember, like Nick was still so hung up on Caroline, and there was that connection back and forth still that existed. And then it ended, and I think it was that Nick didn't tell the truth, right, about Jess. I think it was more that became the issue. And that's why she got so mad, right? She was just like, you lied. And the lie is what got her. That's what I'm saying. Be honest. You got to be honest. Thank you. All right. So Carly. My name is Carly. I started watching New Girl when I started college, and some of my roommates introduced me to it. That was about 5 years ago, and I've watched it pretty consistently since then. Like many others, it has become a comfort show for me. My husband will often watch the show with me, but has to leave the room if things in the loft get too cringy. He always tiptoes back in, though. I listened to this podcast constantly for a few months to catch up on everything that had previously aired. Now I'm caught up and devastated. I have to wait for Tuesday and Thursdays to be able to listen to you guys. You always brighten my day. Oh, thank you. I'm about to graduate from college to become a junior high/high school math teacher. Everyone thinks I'm insane, but I love it. It's all I've ever wanted to do. My husband is studying to be a history teacher. We hope our impact on students can be as big as New Girl's impact on all of us roomies. You know what I will say? Is that I love how teachers connect to the show because Jess is a teacher, right? And it's all those teacher stories and everything. I feel like there's a lot of teachers that watch this show and really connect to it, which makes me happy. You know, teachers are amazing. You do so much incredible work in, being with this next generation coming up and teaching them and guiding them and supporting them. And I love when I hear people going into a teaching profession for young people and then how this show helps them like connect and feel seen and allows them to laugh. It's a pretty funny job in a lot of instances when you're around a lot of young people. So you're a teacher. We love that. Here we go. This, I guess, is your assorted questions and comments, but let's hear your story first, Carly. I once heard that if you are truly friends with one of your exes, it means you were never in love or you still are. Interesting theory. As I look back at my exes, that idea is definitely true for me. Before I was married, I definitely kept my exes around in hopes of the occasional hookup. Carly Lee. Thank goodness for being happily married and not resorting to that anymore. I have a crazy ex story for you. Ooh, I'm very excited. When my husband and I got together, he wasn't in contact with any of his exes anymore. He was still living in one girl's head, rent free. She cyberbullied, oh no, the heck out of him. She kept getting new phone numbers somehow and would call and text him all the time with super hateful messages. Oh my goodness. He would just ignore the messages and block each new number as they came up. When I came into the picture, she started harassing both of us on social media. Oh my goodness. She made an anonymous Instagram account so no one could tell who she was, but we knew. She would send me messages telling me she had all of this dirt on my husband and knew all these secrets he was keeping from me. And I already knew everything she tried to tell me. She would comment very private knowledge about him on our posts. Oh my gosh. And send me old screenshots of messages between her and my husband. Then, as her last hurrah, she got another new number and called my husband on our wedding night, literally the second we were about to consummate our marriage. Luckily, we didn't really hear from her after that, but boy, it was wild. Oh my goodness, that sounds awful. I'm so sorry you went through that. And that woman sounds like she needs some help. Please enjoy my assorted questions and comments below. Carly, my goodness. Okay, do you have a teacher that left a long-lasting impact on you? Ooh, I do actually. I remember in university taking a class on comparative politics between India and Nigeria. And it was the class that really got me into political science, which led to my job at the UN, really studying the impact of female leaders. Yeah, I loved that course at UBC, and I had a really great teacher who was so wonderful and patient with me because I thought I had to go into business school. I thought you go to university to go to business school. And I took that class as an elective, and it changed my career trajectory. So I love that class, and I love that he taught it and really focused on female leaders and kind of created space for all of us to kind of learn through comparison what works and didn't work in these countries. So I think about that class often. So that was great. There's been mention of what crossover episodes people would like to see. I would love to see a New Girl / Modern Family crossover. Fun fact, Jason Weiner was the director of a lot of the Modern Families. He was an EP on that show and also directed a bunch of New Girls. Love Jason Weiner. He's one of my dearest friends. So there's a little connection there for you. And I've come up with lots of ideas of what that could look like. Haley dates one of the guys in the Loft. Jess teaches one of the Modern Family kids. Jess and Cam work at the same school. Phyllis Schmidt and Cece's realtor. Mitch and Nick went to law school together / meet up in some lawyer context. Ooh, I like all of these. These are good pitches. We did a crossover with Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but a Modern Family one would have been good. I like these ideas. Also, like everyone else, I'm on board with the New Girl reunion train and about ready to start a petition for it. Get it going, Carly. That'd be a fun online petition. I wonder how many people would actually sign it. You know? Like, would this become like a real movement? Submit it to Hulu, never know. P.S. If you read anything from me on air, I think I'll cry. Oh, Carly. Well, we spent a lot of time together talking about you, Carly. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for being a teacher. Thank you for your great questions. All right, everybody. That is our show. Go to our website, Try that again. Go to our website. My mom's right, maybe. I'm talking too fast. I'm going too crazy. Go to our website, themessaroundpod.com, to check out our latest merch. Like I said, we got a love letter to you in the form of this great Ferguson tee. Follow us on Instagram at The Mess Around Pod. If you have a question, if you want to leave us a voicemail, email us at themessaroundpod.com at themessaroundpod@gmail.com. You can also DM us on IG. It all gets to us, and we will then put it here on the air. Bye, babes. That was The Mess Around, an iHeartMedia production.
Our executive producer is Joelle Monique. Our senior producer is Abu Zafar. Bei Wang provided engineering and editing services.
Additional production from Daniel Goodman, Wendy Heisler, and Kyle Chevron. Our theme song was written and composed by Ronald Jukebox Jackson.
Catch you next time.
Bye.